This is the Birmingham 2022 Festival. This is the Creative City project by Gospel Link 360, supported by Birmingham City Council. Hey, my name is Roger Moore. I'm the project lead of Recounted Remix. This has been supported by the Gospel Revisited band, who are Birmingham-based and they are totally amazing. And we embarked on a project which we recorded old gospel songs. Songs that the Afro-Caribbean community brought with them to this country. And in 2022, seeing the Commonwealth Games, we thought we wanted to show the colour of our culture and what we brought to Birmingham, the city. So we recorded these songs, and then we had a little twist to this. We looked at young people in the area to remix it, to give it a twist, and kind of give it a colour that they know. So it could be like grime, hip hop, give it their sound. And trust me, you'll enjoy this journey.
Reuben Prince, play drums. I am the founder of Gospel Revisited projects. We look at hymns and songs from an era of the late 1800s up to the mid 1900s. I particularly like looking at these songs because of the impact they have had on me personally. The era that they were sung in, the people I was around, the experiences I had, and I just think it's important that we keep those songs fresh and around so that we can share them with generations that may not have heard them before.
Hi, my name is Stephen Phillip. I am from Trinidadian heritage. My mother and my father are both from there. I grew up as learning to play the steel pan. My dad makes them, and he used to be a teacher. Now I'm a teacher of that as well. Some of the music was new to me, but the rhythm was not new to me. This is something that I grew up with, music and the rhythm, and so it was something that I didn't feel it was difficult to try to fit in with. Obviously there are difficulties when you're playing along with a lot of singing and things like that, because in a steel band you play constantly, but when you're playing music with singers, you've got to drop it and do something slightly different, so that was something. I think I'm a fast learner, but it was still something for me to adapt to. Very, very interesting, very nice music. Really, some brilliant musicians all around me, so I felt like I had to step up my game to keep with these guys.
Okay, if another question has been asked, but today we was fortunate to record some of the songs, and My Jesus I Love Thee is probably one of my favourite songs. Again, it reminds me of my mum. She would always, it was one of her songs that she would use or sing in our church services. Again, I think it reminds me of the struggle of our parents, that generation, who would find peace, solace, comfort in these songs. And when they were sung, you could hear it, you could feel whatever they was experiencing being manifested through the words of these songs. So I think it resonates with me so well. And when I play them, it just reminds me of my mum, and that's particular time which I hold very dear to my heart.
We grew up playing these songs in church. These are the old time revival songs as well. Songs that the old mothers and the deacons used to raise. The reason why it's important for me is because I learnt a lot from these songs. Because growing up in church, playing these songs, that can start off in any key. You used to have to find your way, you find where it was and then go from there. A lot of these songs as well used to be sang at revival. So it brings back a lot of old time memories for me, because my parents grew up in Jamaica and they came over overseas bringing these songs to us.
Hi, I'm Andy, I play keys, and yeah, we've been recording today at Grosvenor Studios. It's been a great experience learning the music for today's session. Some of the tunes I know from when I was young. My grandpa was a pastor and he used to play a couple of these tunes I recognised from those days. Well, he used to have like an old electronic organ, and he also had really bad arthritis, so it was a completely different version to the one we heard today.
These songs are very important to know and to learn, because this is part of our heritage, coming from Jamaica and from the Caribbean. And it seems like nowadays we don't sing those songs anymore. You know, we've kind of like buried them. But these songs are like the ones when you were getting baptized, when there's a revival service in church. You know, these are songs that you bring out and you play and you sing. But we now have changed the tempo and the course of things. So we don't seem to play them and sing them anymore.
Well, yeah, I think with in bands, a band is built up of personalities, different personalities, and they're going to play things like, if we're playing with expression, we're playing things maybe slightly differently each time. But there's other things like the environment, the room, an audience, or a recording session. All these things can sort of impact the end result, and it's lovely with this group of people that it always seems to happen.
I feel like for today, like going in there, experiencing proper music, comparing it today to today's music, it's like, it's different, but in a good way. Like, for example, I can give like a little example. When I'm at like work and I'm listening to a radio, the radio's on, it's just like the music isn't authentic, it's not real, it's not true, it's just a producer in a room making a beat and someone putting a lot of auto-tune through it. But for this, it's like they've got real singers, a real drummer, real guitarists, brass instruments, brass players, even steel pans, and all working together, communicating to actually produce proper music. And for me, it's something I prefer. And obviously, as someone who hasn't heard all of the songs, I know a few of the songs, but I know like a few of the songs, it's like, it's nice and refreshing to have it, to experience real musicians in a room working together to produce something. The music comes from around my grandparents, my mum. They listen to this music, so that's kind of how I found out about some of the songs that's been played today, and I know some of them. And it's like, it's kind of nice to see songs that I've grown up with, in a way, be played live in front of you through, you know, your own eyes instead of listening to it through a screen or through a radio or through some speakers. It's like, it's nice. And as of someone who doesn't really listen to this genre of music all the time, it's like, it's always refreshing to come back to this.
Like everything else in history, you can always go back to history and read a book and say, you know, you can understand what happened in that type of time of the year or in times past. It's important for us to have a musical representation of what those songs actually mean to back to those people back in those days and to us now, and having that heritage and understanding where those songs were coming from kind of puts us in a different space as well. We need to understand that things like that and songs like that were written for a reason. It wasn't just because they thought about stuff, they felt it, they were feeling those words, and those words coming through on paper and then becoming life to us. It's quite important for us to remember where we're coming from.
Being part of the production team for this project has been amazing. Always is interesting to see new faces in a space that's old to me. So, for example, seeing young people, or seeing people like some of the musicians, for example, who never played any gospel music up until they were part of this project. Seeing how they react to being a part of all of this as well is probably the most interesting part of all of it. Myself, you know, being able to capture the moments, being able to capture the music and being a part of it is incredible. It's something that, you know, I can share with people, that almost in a way where I can almost kind of brag that I'm doing something that no one else has been able to do or can do, or, you know, very few people have the opportunity to do.
Gospel music to me is literally like my safe place. There's nothing like gospel music. You can't find it in R&B, you can't find it in pop or hip hop or anything like that.
So ultimately, those old songs, we might use the term old, but they're never ending. You know, that live on forever. Some of the new songs and new genre, we tend to lose the musical element in things. It's all very artificial, synthetic, you know. And what I really love is the authentic sound of old gospel, and the way, you know, certain musicians would play certain songs. But I just love the old songs, and I'm glad that you know you've had that insight to put it out there for everybody to hear. Because some of these things would never be heard if you weren't doing this. So it's important.
It is very important that these songs aren't forgotten, so everybody can still remember their culture, their heritage, and draw on the past to keep going forward.
In terms of the remixing and the possibilities that come with someone young, someone new to gospel, someone new to hymns, let's be very specific, someone new to hymns, and then taking that and putting their own spin, a modern spin on those songs is gonna be very interesting. A part of me is excited, a part of me is very weary, but at the same time, you know, it offers them something new, it offers us something new again. It's that whole thing of bringing the old with the new and just seeing how that, you know, culminates and what that becomes.
There's a lot of things that wasn't done today that kind of makes it a lot harder on a producer to remix a track like this. To a producer standpoint, when you have to put other stems in or do your own thing, that's going to be really difficult.
The right people do it, it can be really good. If the wrong people do it, it could maybe ruin it, if I'm being really honest. So I hope that it is successful and it does it justice, because sometimes you can't go wrong with the traditional an original piece of music. So if you do it right, then I feel like it could be really something special.
That's it. Roger, man, you're a genius. You might have to cut that out, but I'll tell you to your face, man, behind your back. It's an amazing project that you've got, whereby these songs that are so iconic to our generation and to our community, that you can still, or they can still be flagships that the youngers, if I can be so brave to say that, can relate to it and bring them alive in their kind of world, so to speak, which is still paying homage to the songs. I know there's going to be producers from different urban, if I have to use that label, musical backgrounds, grime, hip hop, drum and bass, you know, to name but a few. But it's the idea that these songs will still be recognisable and interchangeable between my community, my age group, and the younger age group, and it's the song at the end of the day. No matter the format that it's delivered in, it's still the song, and the words will still impact who they need to impact regardless of the delivery of the song, because it's the words at the end of the day. So the project is absolutely amazing, very clever, very clever.
I'm gonna tell all the people good morning. I'm gonna sit down beside my Jesus. I'm gonna sit down and rest a little while. It's to be done. All my troubles and trials. When I get home on the other side, I'm gonna shake.
Like hymn songs as well. You don't really have people trying to remix the hymn song. You're trying to keep it traditional, usually. But to remix it up a little bit, I guess, it's to bring something new to this generation as well. So people don't listen to hymns. They don't listen to gospel. So I guess to remix it up and make my age group listen to it, then some people might, I like this, might think I like this, or this is for me, but then some people might not get into it. So yeah.
Sit down beside my Jesus. I'm gonna sit down and rest a little while.
What's good, guys? My name is K2AV. I'm a producer from Birmingham, and I'm here as part of the Recounted Remix project. So part of the challenge was to remix old school Caribbean songs into however I felt to do. So I got some R&B influence, I got some hip hop influence, and mainly I did an amapiano version of a Caribbean song. That was an interesting challenge. So the song's called "Twill Soon Be Done." And initially when I got the stems, I thought this was a challenge because I found myself trying to break down, the cadences, how to flip it into something that grooves within the Southern, because I'm from Zimbabwe initially. So I had to find a way of flipping this Caribbean song into like a Southern amapiano beat, which was, it comes naturally to us, we're drummers. And then, so I started off with the stems, I flipped them, stretched out the stem, and then I added a beat to it, added a log drum, some chords, and then found out that it actually didn't feel the same. So that's when we got Amina to come through the studio, we just worked on the song again, restructured it, and then now we got the final product. So yeah, I enjoyed working with Amina, and I'm looking forward to the next project.
The one thing that I really connected with was the whole live band kind of atmosphere, and being able to see these professional musicians who are legends in their own right, just the way they interact and communicate through music, and the energy that they bring when they're performing. Because, me being a producer who is very sample based, it kind of took it back for me to see kind of like, people that I would be inspired by the way they would flip something like that. And I just like listening to samples anyway, so to see it live in the flesh actually happening in front of me, like that was breathtaking in a sense. You know what I mean? So it definitely connected me to something that we don't see enough these days.
Listening to the songs when I first heard them, I think it brought me way back to when I first started church, and where my mum tried, you don't know what you're kidding, you just didn't want to go to church, and your mum just forced you in. It's like all them old black church hymns or whatever, and the songs, it's like, oh my, you're just standing there like, don't know what you're singing, just like, but it sticks with you. It's like the seed sown in it. It's like, oh, you can't forget them songs, and it's like they're so addictive, they're so like resonant within like the past till now. You can't get rid of it, and ultimately I kind of have to say, that I guess that's kind of what makes us a good song a good song. If it sticks with you and you can't forget it, even if it's annoying or whatever, if it sticks in your head and it's a good melody or whatever, it sticks with you. And these songs were that.
I may not have appreciated them back then, but now I definitely look back and I'm like, wow, they were dope, you know.
An whole heap of tracks that I personally remember from a child growing up in Church of God of Prophecy. And so all the songs, every single song that was done in the original format with the live musicians. I love that Man from Galilee, 'Twill Soon Be Done, My Jesus, I Love Thee, We Have an Anchor, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, and all the medleys, all the songs in the medleys. I know all of them. I've sung them for years and years and years as a child growing up into a young man, sing them songs. So when I was asked to be involved in a remix, it was a real delight to get involved in that. But What a Friend We Have in Jesus, funnily enough, I wanted to remix that so long ago. I actually made a beat and had the formation of how the loops will go, because you had to sing it sort of in a different sort of tune to how the original went. So when I saw What a Friend We Have in Jesus on this project, I thought, wow, I got to remix that. And then I listened to it and I thought, ooh, I'd want to turn this kind of momentum of singing into a kind of an urban, hard-hitting track. But I was determined to remix it because, you know, even though it was my original concept, it was still that track.
Yeah, I picked this great project up. Got these awesome stems and kind of I'm very inspired by like the music that was happening around me while I was young. So I grew up in late 90s, early 2000s kind of vibes, and that's the kind of flavour I've brought into this project. So I've kind of gone back to the traditional ways of sampling, you know what I mean? The way that we got the stems, drum breaks. Drum breaks are really influential in my music path and career, and I just feel like they're not really used enough in the modern day. Yeah, grew up around a lot of boom bap, dub music, trip hop, a little bit of drum and bass here and there, but yeah, mostly the kind of sounds that defined the pre-millennium, so to say.
After listening to the remixes done after the recounted live, I must say, very, very outstanding by these young people. I must say that your idea, Roger, in trying to keep all of these gospel hymns and songs alive and current is an amazing idea. It's nice to hear what the young people can create and make it be current to themselves, i.e. using different genres of grime, hip hop, drill, and so that it can appeal to the younger generation, knowing that the same message that was written in the 1800s up to now can still be current and be played, and all generations from all age groups can enjoy the music at this time, and the message is still the same. It's just absolutely brilliant. So it's humbling to be a part of this project, to know that in 20 years from now, you know, if my little kids or grandkids, if I have any, God bless me with that, can still be intrigued and how can I say, be involved in the whole gospel process and still be blessed by these songs. So it's so important, so important.
Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that journey, and you know what, you can get access to all this music on all digital platforms.